Well, we were supposed to have pizza, but somebody was really rude to the pizza guy.
Hey! He made my brother cry!
Rachel always cries.
That's not true!
Do you like fun and adventure? Then sit back and enjoy the Brothers Not Lovers as they discuss all things movies. What's overrated or underrated? What makes you go really? Or how dare you? Or even just simply how funny this movie can be. You have the insightful, intuitive Davey, who is awesome. And you have the film bestie, Josh. He's there.
Hi, I'm Davey, and I'm awesome. And this is Josh, the film bestie.
The only bestie.
And we're about to review a movie that I've been told you know literally everything about.
We're actually doing Showgirls?
No. We are never doing Showgirls. Never, ever doing Showgirls. Ever.
But...
Ever.
Dude,
Ever.
You're so...
Ever. I have a whole bag of ever with your name on it. Now, as I've been told, you know everything there is to know about this movie.
Where did you hear this?
From your letter.
The letter. Oh, the letter. That's true. Which seat will we be in?
We?
Your brother asked if he could bring his wife. I told him he couldn't.
Not my wife. Not my wife. I buy her. She belonged to me like property.
Oh God, it's finally happened.
Isn't she great? Her name's Ashley. Hey, how awesome is it that we both fall in love with girls named Ashley? Isn't that ironic?
No, because you named her. Psycho, how did you meet?
We were introduced by a mutual friend.
Harold?
No way. I think he would have ended up with that one chick? That B word that sold him out? That mutual friend was David Wooder. He says she was a sweet little thing. And the best part about her? We get older, she stays the same age. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. She's a bad girl, too. She's going commando. Isn't she great?
Please put her away.
Alright.
This movie was made in 1987, and it was directed by Gary Goddard, written by David Odell, produced by Johan Globus and Menahem Golem, as well as Edward R. Pressman. It was made and distributed by the Cannon Group, as well as MGM Studios. Ladies and gentlemen,
Masters of the Universe.
The movie opens with Skeletor, played by Frank Langella.
Oh, sorry.
Who jumped at the opportunity to play this role because his son at the time was a huge fan of the He-Man toys and TV show.
He got so ripped for this role.
Yeah, but sadly he didn't get a chance to really show that. He's consorting with his second-in-command, Evil Lynn, played by Meg Foster, who is telling him all about how their troops invaded Grayskull, and now Grayskull is theirs.
Ow!
Mine. Okay, whatever. Fine, you got a god complex. It's yours. You invaded it.
Liberated.
Okay. Sure. Skeletor goes to speak with his prisoner, the Sorceress of Grayskull, played by Christina Pickles.
Boo!
The dark can embrace the light, but never eclipse it.
She's very optimistic for somebody who just invaded her home.
Liberated.
Skeletor addresses all of Eternia.
Where's that?
Nowhere. It's made up for the Masters of the Universe world.
Oh yeah, like Australia.
Australia is not made up, Josh. Australia is real.
Yeah, and the Earth is round. And Paul Hogan is real. G'day, mate. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie. Hey, where are all the koalas?
Damn you, stupid. While addressing Eternia, Skeletor tells everybody,
Those who do not pledge themselves to me shall be destroyed.
yeah, that. He says that.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
The new age begins.
And there we see the hero of this movie, He-Man, played by Dolph Lundgren.
Boo. I don't root for the villains, dude.
He-Man comes across a little person being taken prisoner, and he decides he's going to free them. He also runs into his friends,
He-Man, thank the sorceress you're alive. I've been looking for you.
Man-at-Arms and Tila.
Boo. Couple of outlaws. Criminals.
What?
They're trying to free a prisoner. Somebody who's obviously done something wrong that Lord Skeletor needs to have him arrested. This is a crime.
They free the little man.
I am Gwildor of Thenor.
Gwildor is played by Billy Barty, a classic little person actor who's been in many wonderful things, was even the High Elven in Willow.
Isn't that the one where they take the ring to Mordor?
That's Lord of the Rings. Willow is the one with Val Kilmer where they're trying to save the baby. That's going to take over.
And he teams up with the Hercules to take on Cassandra from Wayne's World?
It's called The Conqueror. And that movie was horrible.
Oh, okay, I see. This is the one where Val Kilmer was in that carriage and he's like, I say, it's the Castle Fa.
That was Keanu Reeves and that was Dracula.
That's a good one.
Gwildor is an inventor. They ask Gwildor why Skeletor wanted him so bad, and he takes them back to his place and shows them.
The cosmic key.
That is the cosmic key. The tones that it plays can open a portal to anywhere in any galaxy.
Even Miley Cyrus's shoe closet?
After they spend some time coming up with a plan to get into Grayskull,
Invade.
Ionize!
So He-Man says it's time for them to leave.
I don't like adventures.
I don't like overcooked steak.
I don't like pickles on a sandwich.
Scheduled?
When they finally get into Grayskull,
You are in danger here. You must leave.
well, suddenly she's not so optimistic.
Moody chicks, dude. Harold's old lady was moody as hell.
Especially when somebody threatened her chocolate bars. They start trying to use the cosmic key to get the sorceress out of that force field that Skeletor has her in because he's slowly taking her powers. She says she can hold him off until the moon rises. And then...
Come on!
It's a trap! Skeletor confirms that when the full moon rises, he will have absorbed all of the sorceress's powers, and she will die.
Hey, she volunteered for this. Nobody made her.
Actually, he made her.
Yeah, I sure did.
This angers Man-at-Arms, because he dared to threaten her life.
I dare anything! I am Skeletor!
Yeah, see, he's the bad guy.
Yes, he is!
Just then, Evelyn notices Gwildor.
The little worm has another key!
What? No!
So a fight breaks out!
Keep working!
The reason these Skeletor troopers were made to be robots is because in the contract to do this movie, Mattel made it very clear He-Man is not allowed to actually kill people.
Moms of America in the 80s and 90s, pal. What are you gonna do? Oh, they gave friggin' Ninja Turtles the movie a whole bunch of guff because they had weapons.
Yeah.
Hey, you wanna know what's making your stuff suck? It's your mom.
You know what else is making everything suck? My mom! They are too outnumbered. They have to get away. So Gwildor has to open any random door he can so they can get out of there.
To Miley Cyrus' panty locker?
She wasn't even alive yet, dude.
Yeah.
So they go through the portal. There's absolutely no way to know where they possibly went. So Skeletor makes it clear that as soon as they use that key again, which they will have to, that they lock in their location.
Find them.
He's so bad.
Do you need a moment alone?
Yeah. We need a moment alone.
Go
Come
home.
here, you.
The Eternians don't know where they are, they've lost the key, and they could literally be on any planet in the galaxy.
I wonder where they went.
It seems harmless.
They're on Earth.
Yeah.
They came to Earth because in the original script it was all supposed to be set on Earth because that would have kept the budget down a little bit. However, the director Gary Goddard did convince Cannon to let some of it be in Eternia to stay true to the characters.
Yet not one dingo in sight.
Eternia is not Australia. They decide to split up to find the key.
Good journey.
Good journey.
Good journey.
That's how they say goodbye.
I thought they said arrivederci in that kangaroo talk of theirs.
That's not even an Australian stereotype. Idiot.
Yeah, and jellyfish are a real danger. Just put them on your sandwich, fine.
Then we meet Julie.
Thanks. Come again.
Sure thing, ma'am.
Played by Courtney Cox. This was her...
Sorry, buddy.
This was her first role in a big budget movie. And oddly enough, later when Courtney Cox would go on to play Friends, Christina Pickles, who plays the sorceress, would later play her mother. We also meet Kevin, Julie's boyfriend.
It's not very romantic for a last date.
Julie is going to be moving to Florida to get away from the place and all the grief and memories of her dead parents who died in a plane accident.
They flew over the edge.
Everybody except He-Man ends up at this little fast food chicken and rib joint.
Including Ken Lindsay.
Author of the Gavin English series and the River Runes, available at kenlindsaybooks.com.
Aha!
You know what? Ken Lindsay would show up for some chicken and ribs. I wish there was a place that served chicken and ribs. Because sometimes I'm at KFC thinking, you know what would go great with this fried chicken? Ribs. They actually get some food and they start eating until Tila realizes that this was an animal.
What a barbaric world.
Yeah, apparently they don't eat meat in Eternia.
Huh. They're all vegans down under.
It's not Australia.
It tasted good.
You're damn right it tasted good. Nothing like some ribs!
Ribs.
Julie and Kevin go to her parents' grave so she can say goodbye. And they find something.
Whoa, that is incredible. What is it?
They think it's a synthesizer.
Little trouble with that word there, buddy?
They had a lot of trouble with that word.
Yeah. This is basically 90% of 80s music right there.
Yeah, an instrument harder to pronounce than Ruth Chris Steakhouse.
You know that country where they hire all the actors to pretend to be Eternians?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what they call chips over there?
What?
They call them crisps.
They take it to their high school to test it out. After testing it out a little bit, Skeletor and his troops are able to lock in on where they're at. At this point, Kevin decides to take it to his friend Charlie at his music store to see if maybe he knows what it is, and Julie decides to hang around the high school gym to say goodbye to the place. Well, now that you've said goodbye to the place, I think it's time to leave.
Don't forget the crisps.
Take it alive! She may know where the key is!
They go after her for information.
Mine!
That's a great way to get information out of a girl. Stab her in the head and neck with 2 swords.
I don't know, that would scare me into giving information.
If it hit you, it wouldn't scare you, it would kill you.
Ah, tomato, tomato.
That's Blade, by the way. Played by Anthony DeLongis, who is actually the guy who trained Dolph Lundgren in swordplay for this movie. Julie gets out of the gym just as it's being set on fire. And she runs into this guy.
Get away from me!
It's all right. Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you.
He-Man!
He-Man.
He-Man hides Julie and gives her a gun. And then he goes and takes it to the others.
Yeah!
I am so sick of movies that concentrate on the villains these days.
But then He-Man encounters the Beastman. Well, that's one problem down.
Here's another.
I've waited a long time for this.
He's had his eye out for He-Man. Literally. The backstory is that He-Man is the guy who cost him that eye. To defeat Blade, of all things, He-Man uses Sarad as a weapon.
Your mother was a lizard!
Teela and Man-at-Arms finally show up.
Retreat! Retreat!
Yes, because 3 against a bunch of you. Naturally, you need to retreat.
Incompetence.
They ask Julie about the key, and she tells them it's with Kevin.
He's in terrible danger. Let's go.
Ah, terrible danger. Bad, but not the worst kind of danger.
Wonderful danger.
Meh danger.
Serious danger.
Very serious danger.
Terrible danger.
And then the absolute worst kind of danger. Rider strong danger. Kevin comes back to the high school and sees that it's on fire and meets a detective Lubick, played by James Tolkien.
Hey, that's the principal from that movie with the kid who his mom tried to do with him in the past. Remember? It's got, you know, Christopher Lloyd in it. Did you like that one? Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, me too. That was awesome. We don't care if you get it.
Lubick tells Kevin that there is nobody in there, and Kevin wants them to find Julie. So Lubick takes Kevin.
What are you doing, huh? You arresting me? Oh, we're gonna go look for your girlfriend, just like you said.
Back to the others, Gwildor shows up.
Ready?
Well, it's no battle cat, but it'll do.
It was supposed to be a battle cat. They replaced it with that.
They didn't have the budget for battle cat. The mercenaries return to Skeletor. Skeletor's angry with them.
As well he should!
Evelyn tells Skeletor that he should spare the other 3 and send them back with more troops in order to take care of this problem with He-Man. So he makes Evelyn go with them.
I was not suggesting that I go.
Then you should not have spoken.
Fair enough.
Speak when spoken to when you talk to the man. Skeletor.
By the way, in case you're watching and wondering, those are not contacts. Those are her real eyes. Kevin and Lubick arrive at Julie's place, and Lubick asks Kevin about that key. He tells him it's a synthesizer.
He needs some script and some crisps to fight the crypts.
I don't think this is any synthesizer.
Duh! Dude, seriously. Why do you keep doing this? I'm right here. Seriously, here, watch. Duh! So hard. I got nothing. Okay, now you're just trying to piss me off. Duh! Stop it!
Lubick decides to investigate the key.
If your story checks out, you'll get it back. If.
All the crazy things going on right now, and you're worried about an instrument?
To be fair, it is pretty bitchin' and radical. 80s talk.
I know. Soon after, Kevin gets a surprise.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here!
Okay, he told you to leave and he threw a dishcloth at you. Can't believe that didn't work.
Impossible! He made them leave!
Evelyn puts a truth collar on Kevin to get him to tell her where the key is.
Leave it to a woman to invent something like that.
Let's hope they don't really. While they're looking for the key, they also are making a huge mess.
Monica's gonna be pissed!
Karg shows Evelyn a newspaper clipping that Julie had kept of her parents having died in a plane accident.
This may prove useful.
Why would you keep that?
I would.
Dude. Evelyn and her troops leave, and just then He-Man and the gang show up.
That's exactly what they are, too. Vicious gang of criminals.
They get the collar off of Kevin and get him to tell them where Lubick is.
Hey, how come I get this feeling I've been looking for you all night?
You're really not a little alarmed about the way they're dressed?
Maybe you had to bust up a Rocky Horror Picture Show rally earlier, and yeah, this would still be a little weird.
Yeah. And just then, Evelyn's troops show up. But Man-at-Arms is ready! Yeah! While this is going on, outside, Julie sees her mother.
Isn't she dead?
Yeah, this confuses Julie too, so she goes outside to talk to her mother. Her mother tells her they weren't really dead, they just had to disappear because they were doing some very secret, very important work.
Oh, honey, I've missed you so much.
This is beautiful.
Julie's mom tells her that she needs the key for the work they've been doing. So Julie goes to get it for her.
Thank you, my darling.
Guess it wasn't that beautiful. You gotta hand it to old Skeletor, man. He knows how to pick his women. That's crafty.
Evelyn and her troops start to leave because now they got the key.
That woman took the key!
To be fair, you gave it to her.
I'd like a woman to leave that part of the story out.
Dude, what is with all the sexism in this review?
I don't know. I think it's something about this movie. It makes me feel so macho, so savage, so like a He-Man. So masculine.
Evelyn sends word to Skeletor for him to come to Earth.
Skeletor's coming? Oh, jeez. Hey, how's my hair?
And he wants to know where He-Man is.
Find him.
I'll find him for you.
You do realize that these are just characters in a movie, right?
Oh, yeah. I figure that's why he hasn't returned my phone calls.
He-Man gets a hold of one of Skeletor's men's hoverboards.
Ah! They did it before Back to the Future.
And he gets the key.
Hey, come on. That's Skeletor's. He paid good money for that.
No, he didn't.
Alright.
Skeletor finds Teela, Man-at-Arms, and Gwildor.
Throw down your weapons, or you die.
Since they are surrounded, they actually don't have a choice in this matter. He-Man arrives and Julie tries to warn him that it's a trap.
It's a trap! Julie!
This causes He-Man to drop the key.
No!
Well, that's done.
He's caused enough trouble. Rebel scum.
He's the good guy.
You really are corrupt.
But this doesn't stop He-Man.
Doesn't stop Skeletor either.
One more move, and your friends will not live to see another day.
Skeletor tells him to throw down his sword and come back to Eternia with him as his prisoner. If he doesn't, he's not only going to kill Teela, Man-at-Arms, and Gwildor, but he's going to kill the whole planet Earth.
He-Man, no!
Thanks, dude.
Wow. A little extreme, but hey, you gotta get the job done. That's what a good ruler does.
Skeletor and his army leave with He-Man as their prisoner, but leave the rest to stay on Earth, stranded. Julie's also in bad shape.
A little bag bomb, it'll be fine.
Gwildor explains that even though he can fix the key, the tones have been erased from its memory, and the odds of finding the exact right tone to get them back to Eternia are astronomical. Since Kevin knows the tones, he can actually get them back by playing them.
What would I get for doing these tones? Da 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 da.
Here.
Hey, look, girls, there he is!
Gwildor says the only thing he now needs is an instrument to play the tones on.
Wait, I'll get a keyboard from Charlie's.
You know, after that little scene, I don't know if Charlie's got a whole lot of keyboards left. Back in Eternia, the little pig boy that he took the staff from was the winner of a Mattel contest. The winner of the contest before this movie came out, the grand prize was a part in this movie. That was it.
If one of us had won that, we'd get to be the pig?
Yeah, we'd get to be that pig boy.
Man, he's so lucky. He was right there with Skeletor. Why does nothing good ever happen to me?
Well, if it makes you feel better, I remember very factually that many people called you pig boy growing up.
Thanks, man.
Anytime. Skeletor locks up the Sword of Grayskull and tells He-Man to kneel before him.
I'll never kneel to you!
I totally would. That would be tubular. I would, Davey. I would.
Well, he doesn't, and they try to force him.
Whip it. Into shape. Get it up. Go forward. Whip it good.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay.
The full moon rises, And Skeletor is becoming powerful.
Yeah, he is.
Identity flows through me. Kneel before your master!
Just get on one knee. I swear you'll like it.
Dude, you realize he's the bad guy, right?
Yeah, right. And he would lie about sparing He-Man's friends.
I am more than man! More than life!
Yeah, you are.
Dude.
God!
And how can this be? For he is the Kwisatz Haderach!
Kneel!
Stay gold, Skeletor.
Dude, no! Back to the others just as they get the door open.
You're all under arrest! Throw down your weapons and place your hands above your heads!
Lubbock comes back, and because of his timing, he goes through with them. Back at Grayskull.
Tell me about the loneliness of good, He-Man.
You know, that wasn't even in the script. That was pure grade A Frankie Langella.
Just then, the others arrive. With only half a car.
Battle Cat!
Destroy them!
Oh, you heard him.
You promised not to hurt them! I lied.
Okay, he lied, but he's still an honorable villain.
That's an oxymoron.
Gee, Ashley, you should not have said that.
Leave Bestie alone. He does the best he can.
Sorry.
He-Man breaks free. Thanks to Skeletor.
Oh, the sweet irony.
Now, Lubbock gets in the game.
Yeah!
And He-Man gets his sword. Truth be told, though, was there a kid around in the 80s that didn't want that sword? The answer is no.
There was no child who didn't want that sword.
And now it's time for the final showdown.
Let this be our final battle!
And they fight!
Skeletor! Skeletor!
He-Man! He-Man!
Gummy bears! Gummy bears!
Sprinkles! Sprinkles!
Breadsticks! Breadsticks!
Garlic toast! Garlic toast!
Jacob! Jacob!
Lost Boys! Lost Boys! And finally... That's really all it took? I mean, glad He-Man's winning, but breaking the staff, that's it?
Stay gold. Stay gold, Skeletor.
He didn't. But, if it makes you feel better, Skeletor's not done.
No! No! I can't, I didn't remember this movie having a sad ending.
Hey. Now he's done.
He-Man! Victory!
Dude, did you really think that He-Man was gonna lose?
Well, yeah! I bet money on it!
When?
A couple days ago with the guys. You know, the ones down at the track. Put 4-1 odds on this whole thing, and they took it. They even gave me better odds. 6-1. While laughing at me.
Dude, you know this movie's been out for like 30 years, right?
Good God!
After the sorceress fixes Julie's leg, everybody is going home, except Lubbock. He decides to stay. He's going to take an early retirement.
I got a view, I got clean air, I got a beautiful woman. Huh?
Yeah, we do.
And the sorceress gives Julie a little memento.
Thank you.
And they go to say goodbye.
Say good journey.
Julie and Kevin go home.
No, Dad!
Apparently, Goulder was also able to send them back in time to before Julie's parents took off on the plane that they crashed in.
Yeah. Why not?
This time, Julie, though, doesn't let them leave.
Julie, put those keys back.
I love you!
Then she meets with Kevin.
Don't let your parents get on that plane.
I already stopped them.
Apparently, he didn't think that she would have covered that.
What a dumbass. But his name is Kevin.
We need to put a stop to that. I know everybody's trying to make Kevin the female Karen, but it doesn't work. Because Karens are jerks, but Kevins are always cool.
These are morons.
Excuse me? Kevin McAllister? Kevin James? Kevin Smith? Okay, he lost a few points. What a happy ending. Come on, Bestie. It had a happy ending.
No, it didn't.
Watch.
I'll be back.
Oh, he's alive! He's alive! Was there a sequel to this?
No, but there was supposed to be. So there you have it, one of my favorite movies since childhood. Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe. He-Man and the Masters.
See, this movie didn't do very well. It had originally a $17 million budget, but eventually it got pushed up to $22 million, which made it Canon's most expensive film they ever made. But let's keep something in mind. This is He-Man we're talking about, and they did the movie for $22 million. That's cheap. Nowadays, if they did a He-Man movie, or like most Marvel movies, they spend more than that on the costumes, let alone the entire movie. Like, just to put this in retrospect, the 2004 adaptation of the Fantastic Four, that was a $190 million budget. So when you put that into comparison, that they did that much in the 80s, before CGI, they had to use nothing but practical effects. For $22 million, that is extremely impressive.
Oh yeah.
But the movie did not do well in the box office, as it only grossed $17.4 million. It later made its money back on VHS and everything else, but it was considered a big-time flop, which as a kid angered me, and as an adult, I will admit, a lot of times I go back, I watch movies that we loved as a kid, and I go, okay, I get why this flopped or whatnot. This one I don't. I don't get. What was wrong with it?
Maybe it wasn't like the cartoon, perfectly like the cartoon.
Well, here's the problem with that. People don't understand. This was not an adaptation of the cartoon. This was an adaptation of the toy line. You were comparing it to the wrong thing. And even to this day, Dolph Lundgren says that this was one of his least favorite roles he ever did. Even though, let's face it, Dolph, this was his first starring role in any movie ever.
He should have loved that.
And honestly, it was probably the last time he was in a big budget Hollywood movie, at least as the starring lead role. Other than that, like, he basically just started doing B movies the rest of his life.
You know who looks back on this favorably? Frank Langella.
He does. He still says this is one of the favorite roles he's ever played. And Frank Langella is a classically trained actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. He has a lot of credits to his name. He's done masterpieces, and he still looks back very fondly on playing Skeletor. Despite the fact that most people would look back on that miserably just from the makeup he had to wear alone. Gotta imagine that wasn't comfortable.
God, no. Especially all those layers of clothes. Why couldn't you just let him show his beefcake?
Right. Whereas I don't root for the bad guy, like this guy, no one can deny that the star performance in this movie was Frank Langella as Skeletor.
And of course, Courtney Cox as the maiden in distress.
This is one of the things that I wouldn't say launched her career, but definitely helped. I mean,
Ace Ventura launched her career.
She was,
7 times. He was pretty tired.
Actually, she was already doing Friends at that point. But still, before this, the only thing she'd done of note was a Bruce Springsteen video, where she got to go on stage and dance with him.
Nobody's ever forgotten that.
No. But, again, this had a great cast. It had good acting. I wouldn't say all of it was fantastic. You gotta remember at the time, Dolph Lundgren had a real hard time getting his lines out because he still had a very thick Swedish accent at the time.
But he was still as American as Rock Maka.
Now, there was supposed to be a sequel to this called Masters of the Universe Cyborg. It was going to be directed by Albert Peen, who later directed Cyborg, and this was a direct result of it. They weren't going to have nearly the same budget. The budget was actually going to be $4.5 million, and Lundgren was not going to come back for it. They were going to get some surfer guy who had never really acted before. But they were going to put She-Ra in the second movie, as well as Trapjaw, but sadly the movie never came to fruition because Canon started having financial problems and other problems behind the scenes. That led to them losing their contract with Mattel and Marvel. So a lot of the costumes and sets that were going to be used in Masters of the Universe 2 ended up going to Albert Pine's original film, Cyborg. In fact, the chainmail that Vendor wears in Cyborg is the same chainmail that Blade wore in this.
Oh, yeah.
Overall, this is one of those movies that I would say to people who have bashed it, how dare you? It's a fantastic movie. It was very well done, very well written. Was it perfect? No, but it was the 80s.
And to the makers who dared to make Dolph Lundgren character a hero, how dare you?
No, dude, He-Man's the hero, Skeletor is the villain. Gruber is the villain, McClane is the hero. Johnny was the bad guy in The Karate Kid. Stop rooting for the villains! Therefore, my recommendation, take it for what it is. It's technically a low-budget action movie, and it's fantastic. It's got great fighting, great action, great effects, great cast, and it's got Frank Langella playing Skeletor. Honestly, if they did another Masters of the Universe movie, which they constantly talked about ever since, I don't know who they could get to follow him. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis? Skeletor drinks their milkshake?
I just told you.
Huh. I get your point.
They heard me mention the guy who played Red Skull.
So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notifications when I post new videos, and leave a comment. Tell us what you thought of Masters of the Universe. Tell us if you want a new Masters of the Universe. Tell us what you thought of Frank Langella. Love you guys.